If you can't add or subtract them without lining them up.
Without lining them up, that's right. That is a very important step.
So I'm supposed to like 7 millimeters.
We're doing decimals. Did I say fractions? I may have now. I've been going back and forth all day for some reason. But that's fractions. But a decimal is a different way to write a fraction, right?
Behind the decimal point, there's tenths, hundredths, and thousands.
Very good. Those are the place values. So you all already know a lot. So this is just going to be a big review for you all, okay? And then when we're done, we're going to do a fun activity, okay? So if Ms. Lake could get the lights for me. So this video might make you chuckle a little, but let's try to keep it down, okay? Is that loud enough?
Today's lesson is about adding and subtracting decimals, which is actually a pretty easy lesson, because if you know how to add and subtract whole numbers, like 194 plus 292, you also know how to add and subtract decimals. The only difference is there's a decimal point.
Do you know what a decimal is? A decimal is a number with a decimal point in it, such as 3.62 or 0.4. A decimal point separates the whole number from the pieces, or the non-whole number. A decimal is like a fraction. Deci means 1/10, so decimals are in powers of 10. If we have 2.7, you can see we have 2 ones, or whole numbers, and 7 tenths, which means we have a fraction 7/10, or 7 out of 10 pieces of one whole. So the number on the left of the decimal is the whole number, and the number on the right shows how many pieces you have of one.
Okay. So, as our little friend was saying in her very funny voice, what is on the left side of the decimal? What is this number considered?
The whole number.
The whole number, very good. And on the right side is the, no?
The parts of.
The parts or the pieces, exactly. How would we say this number? Can we say it as a class?
2 and 1500ths.
Very good, very good. Back to our video.
Countries use a comma instead of a point to separate the whole number from the pieces. Instead of finding a number like 42,347 and 2800 like this, it looks like this. So a decimal is a whole number with pieces, which is separated by a decimal point, or in some countries, by a comma.
Oh, can you pause that real quick?
Yes.
I just wanted to point out to you guys that that's something that, when we're talking about thinking internationally and thinking beyond just us, that plugs into that, because there are people, different countries, different
They
groups
use
who write their
commas.
numbers different ways. So that's excellent. Thank you for,
They use
I'm glad it
decimals
was
as
Oh, you're welcome. And I was going to stop that, but then I was like, I'm not sure. So, but yes, that is very interesting. That instead of using the decimal point, they'll use a comma. And then where we would put a comma, they put a decimal point.
Okay, that answers
That answers your question? Okay.
When you're adding and subtracting decimals, you have to line up the decimal points so the place values are correct. This is very important. Let me show you an example of what I mean. If we have a problem like 1.3 or 1 3/10 plus 24.56 or 24 5600, the first thing you should do is rewrite the problem so the decimals are on top of each other, and then place the digits on the correct side of the decimals. So 1.3 plus 24.56 will look something like this. It helps to place zeros in the empty spaces so you do not get confused. This really helps when subtracting. Now bring the decimal straight down and add like you normally would. Do not forget to bring the decimal straight down. This is very important.
Okay. So this gentleman just told us the 4 steps to adding and subtracting decimals. So we're going to go over that real quick. Okay? So step number 1 is to line up the number so the decimal is in the same place in each number. So if we have this number, Going to line them up like this. Okay? So what was the first step, class?
Line up the numbers of the decimals in the same place in each number.
Okay, the next step is to add zeros to the empty spaces. What's the second step?
Add zeros in the empty spaces.
Okay, next we're going to bring down our decimal point. That's our third step. What's our third step?
Bring the decimal point down.
Okay, and next we're going to add or subtract. So we have to do all of this, all these three steps before we can even go to adding and subtracting, right? So what do we have here? 6 plus 0?
6, 10, 4, 5.
Let's read this number.
5 and 600.
Very good. And so here the 78 does not have a decimal point. So if the decimal is not in sight, move to the right. They're doing our first step. They're lining up the decimals. We're going to do the second step, add our zeros. And then the third step, bring down our decimal. And now we'll add. So if the decimal is not in sight, move to the right.
How about another problem? What if we have 72.04 or 72 and 400ths, and we subtract it by 4.608 or 4 and 608 thousandths? Remember, the first thing you need to do is rewrite the problem so the decimals are lined up perfectly. And then place the digits on the correct side of the decimal. So the problem will look like this. Now place the zeros in the empty spaces and subtract. See how the zeros help you? We now know we need to borrow from the 4 because we cannot subtract 8 from 0. It's too small. 4 turns into 3.
Should he be subtracting yet, or did he forget a step?
He forgot a step.
What step did he forget?
Bring the
Bring down the
decimal.
decimal, that's right.
6 from 0. So 2 turns into 1, and 0 becomes 10. 10 minus 6 equals 4.
He's
Now
gonna be
1
mixed
is too small, so we need to borrow from 7. 7 turns into 6, and 1 turns into 11. 11 minus 4 equals 7, and 6 minus 0 equals 6. And we are done. Wait a second, I forgot something. Oh yeah, I forgot to bring the decimal straight down. See, it's something you can easily...
Right, and that is very important, because if you gave me
Always bring the decimal straight down.
67,432, that wouldn't be right,
No.
right?
So, did you notice? While doing the work, we act like the decimal is not there. It's just like adding and subtracting whole numbers, except there's a point. Well, I hope the examples help. Now grab your handout.
We don't have a
Practice the
handout,
problems on your
so
own.
we're gonna do an activity instead. Can you turn the light, please? Okay, but first, we are going to review what we learned in the movie. And I know you all already know how to do it, but it'll give you an opportunity to come up here to the smart board, okay, and do some of the work. And I'm going to call you by your name, by your number, because I'm new and I might not say your name right, and I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings or anything. So I'm going to call by the number, okay? So the first thing we're going to do, the first thing we learned about is what number was on the left of the decimal and what numbers are on the right of the decimal.
The
I'm going to write a number up here. It's 9 and 79 hundredths, right? Okay? 16, Felix, can you come up here and circle the whole number for me? Do we all agree? Thumbs up, thumbs down. All right, very good, Felix. Okay? Number 1, Kayla.
She's not here. She's in Idaho. She's in Idaho. Boise, Idaho.
Okay, number 11. How do you say your name, hon? Kasia. circle the parts of a whole or the pieces. Very good. Do we all agree? Yes? Okay. All right. Now, we're going to move on to our steps. So this is going to take some thinking. You're going to have to remember what the 4 steps are. So I want number 15. How do you say your name? Javarius. Can you write the first step that you have to follow before you add or subtract a decimal? Let me see. Okay? Javarius says, line the decimal points up. Thumbs up or thumbs down? We all agree? Yeah? Very good. All right. Step number 2. Let's see. Miracle, number 4. Number 4, miracle. You remember? To add zeros, do we agree? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Very good, Miracle. Okay? Step 3. Add an E right there. The funny thing is that when I was typing this up at home, that's how I spelled zeros too, until the spell check caught it. And I was like, okay then. Well, I didn't spell that right. Okay, step number 3. Number 7, Justin, you want to come write it? Okay, Justin says it's bring down the decimal point. Thumbs up or thumbs down? Okay, very good. All right, and our last step, Noah, number 14?
He's not here.
Not here. Number 10, Jerome? Okay. Okay? He says it's add or subtract. Thumbs up or thumbs down? Okay, so we got all of our steps here. We have one more thing we're going to go over. What do we do? I shouldn't have wrote that so big. So that's okay. Number 8, Joshua.
He's so
Will you do the first step for me with these numbers? Remember, we had a saying for if the decimal's not in sight, what do we do, class?
Pull it to the right.
To the right. Very good. Very good. You don't have to write as big as I did. I was a little overboard with my writing. Okay, so he's lining up the decimals. Very good, okay? Thank you. Number 6. Number 20, Isabella? All right. Isabella, do the next step. So we've already lined up our decimals. What do we need to do next? Very good. Very good. We need to add our zeros. Okay? Number 2. How do you say your name? Renaya. Okay, I know. Listen, I know Miss Mikowski left, but let's keep it down, okay?
I'm right here.
No, you're fine. Let's do the third step. What do we need to do? Very good. Always remember to bring that decimal point down. And our last step, number 13, Kirsten? Kirsten. Put our symbol out there so we don't forget whether we're adding or subtracting. One more time. Very good. All right. Well, oh my goodness.
Just gotta press that.
I see that. Okay. Well, it seems like this was a serious review for all of you all. You all know what you're doing. Well, I have an activity that is a little bit more tough than what we were just doing, okay? It's gonna take you to think and really use your thinking skills, okay? You're gonna be in the groups that you're in now, and Miss Lake is gonna pass out. You're gonna have 3 different papers on your desk, okay? I need you to, first thing to do is to write your name on every single one of those pieces of paper, okay? So let's do that, and then I'll give you instructions. Write your name on your sheet of paper. That's the first thing I want you to do. Oh. Okay. What was the first thing I asked you to do, honey? Write your name on your papers, okay? That way I don't give your credit to somebody else.
That's something to reflect on.
Ooh, money.
Okay? As you've seen, you each should have a rubric on your desk. This is how I'm going to grade you, okay? So keep this on your desk because I don't know your names yet. I'm not that good. I'm still working on that. So that's how we'll give a grade. And probably what you're all wondering is, well, is this grade going to count? Yes, it is. I'm giving it to Miss Mikowski, and it will go in the grade book. So you're going to want to try really hard, okay?
Are we doing it as a group?
We're going to do it as a group. I'm going to explain in just a moment, okay? The only thing you need on your desk are these 3 sheets of paper and your pencil. Okay.
Did everyone get 3 different sheets?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Miss Lake.
Everybody, are we listening? Because you're going to have to pay attention or you're not going to know where you're at, and I'm not going to explain it again. Okay? So listen up. The goal is going to be, everybody's going to be given a certain amount of money. And the goal is going to be to order drinks and pizza and spend as much as your money as you can.
Ooh,
So you don't want to have very much money left over. Okay, that's the goal. You want to spend as much as you can without going over.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and I'm going to explain some more in just a minute. But first I'm going to tell you that each one of you have $8. So as a group, how much money do you have?
8, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hold on, I'm asking them. I'm asking this group.
40.
$40. Write that on your paper. Where does it say? Money allotted for the group. How much money do my groups of 4 have?
32.
32, write that on your paper, okay?
On which one?
And I know that it seems like they have an advantage, but they don't. Everybody has $8 to spend.
Which one? Wait. Wait.
But that's your 40 is all together. So separately, everybody's spending the same amount of money. It's just as a group, you have an extra person, so you have a little bit more money. But it doesn't give them an advantage, okay? Okay? Are you with me so far?
Yes, ma'am.
There's only one thing that everybody has to buy. Everybody has to have a drink.
Okay.
So each group, you have to have how many drinks? 5. And my groups of 4 will have to have 4 drinks, okay? So this group's got to have at least 4 drinks. This group's got to have at least 4 drinks. You all have to have at least 4 drinks. And everybody has to order at least 1 pizza. Okay?
4 drinks per person.
No. 1 drink per person, so 4 for the whole group, okay?
Okay.
Small drink is
I'm gonna give you 15 minutes to, don't start working yet though. Slow down. Don't start yet, don't start. Listen, you can write on these, it's fine. But if you need scratch paper, oh, and one more thing. Everybody, you have to work as a group.
Yes, ma'am.
But everybody has their own paper so you can check each other's answers. But you're all gonna have the same answers, okay? You got that? You're all gonna have the same answers. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Hold on. Hold on.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, pay attention. The group that comes the closest to spending their amount of money without going over is going to get a prize. Okay? So, let's try as hard as we can. We have 15 minutes, and we'll say the time is 1:30. So we're going to stop at 1:45. Any questions?
No.
Okay, listen. Any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, we have some from this group, so hold on a second.
I'll sit all the way down.
You cannot possibly have $0 left. I've already worked out all the configurations, so you shouldn't be able to do that.
Do we have to
That's fine. If you need scratch paper, you can get scratch paper.
Should I keep recording
Work with your group. They'll help you.
She's 21 minutes.
Listen.
Thank you.
Yeah, you just have to have 1 pizza. That's it. 4 drinks and 1 pizza.
If you need help, just raise your hand. We'll be coming by.
All right, are you ready? Yeah. We're not going to go until everybody's quiet. And I will be walking around to help, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Ready? You have to 1:45, go. Let's keep our voices I think what it would to do is to talk as a group and decide what you all want to get first. So come up with a game plan. And I'll give you a hint. You know you have to buy those drinks. So what do we need to figure out first? How much the 4 drinks cost, right? But you have to have 4 of them.
Okay. So that is
Okay? Pay attention now. Listen, make sure you're writing down